Classroom of the Elite is one of the most interesting anime I've ever seen, and I don't mean that in a good way. The entire anime wants to be like this intelligent, super smart, and deep anime, but it really is just not, because nothing that ever happens is actually intelligent or anything even close. And we literally see this at the start of every episode when it starts out with some like trying to be deep quote, but it often has nothing to do with the actual episode, and it just comes across as pretentious as well. The main character just comes across as obnoxious and annoying. Sometimes they'll just randomly say a quote that sounds deep from some philosopher back in the 20th century, but often it just really means nothing, and the anime tries its hardest to make him sound smart, but honestly, it just comes across as mostly pretentious. And he's supposed to be this introvert who's not good at talking to people, like it's setting up early on. Like as if he's supposed to be relatable to the modern anime fan. And he's talking as if he wants to make friends with everybody in the class, but as if he's going to struggle to do so. But even that's inconsistent because every single female in the anime is just super obsessed with him for no reason. It's like every single episode there was a new female character who was trying to talk to the main character. And it's like, where are these people even coming from, and why do they even want to talk to this guy? He's just some random guy. Even the girls who aren't even from his class are trying to talk to him.
It's just that... Well, I have to say this. Someone is about to ask me out! Like, right now!
Huh? Wait, I'm confused. Wouldn't it be better if I wasn't here?
Well, normally, but I don't know a thing about dating. Someone left this in my locker yesterday, and the feeling is not mutual, and I have no idea how to let them down easy, without hurting them, you know? So I was wondering if you might help me out by pretending to be my boyfriend, for a sec.
She seriously thinks that's going to work?
I'm begging you!
I think it would be better to just be honest with them and hash it out. That's my advice.
I can't!
It just didn't make sense to me, the fact that they were trying to go for this like introvert, lonely main character, but it doesn't even work out because every single female in the anime likes him. Even the dialogue from the other characters seems like they're just there to gas the main character up. Like this scene in episode 2 where he's fighting against Horikita's brother.
She sounds like a completely different person. Close one.
You fight like an expert. Which of the arts do you practice?
Piano and calligraphy.
Like what? Where did he even get that from? You fight like an expert? All he did was dodge 2 of your attacks and then you just missed the third attack. Like that. What did he even do there that was special? That's something that literally anybody can do that can move. Like this scene is clearly just here to make the main character seem more talented at stuff than he actually is. Now this mostly centers around the main character, but it also extends out to the other characters in pretty much the entire anime. Like everyone's supposed to be outplaying each other in these cool ways, but all they're really doing is just blackmailing each other in the most ridiculous ways. Here, I'm going to put your hand on my boobs, so whenever, you know, something bad happens that I don't want to happen, I can just blackmail you and say that you raped me. Oh yeah, one-dimensional character that only wants to fight people and argue? Well, let me stage him up and pretend like he beat us up for no reason. Everyone is constantly blackmailing each other, and it's just so annoying because nothing ever smart actually happens. And even if it was this super deep, intelligent anime, the constant sexual tones are just too much to make me take it seriously regardless. It's like there's fan service in pretty much every episode, and it gets to the point where it's just overbearingly annoying. And honestly, if it was just a little bit of fan service, it wouldn't really be that big of a deal, but it's just constant. Every single episode, there's going to be fan service implemented somehow into the episode. There's also an entire filler episode based fully on fan service where they go to the pool or something, and it's just one of the worst anime episodes I think I've ever seen. And during the arc where they go to the island, it is supposed to be this serious game where everyone's trying to outplay each other, and then randomly there's just a panty thief, and then they spend the next few episodes trying to figure out who it is, and it's just so deeply unserious. And honestly, this is one of the most annoying tropes in anime ever, and it's done really terribly in this anime. And then it turns out to be the only one person it could have possibly been. It turns out to be the person who's betraying Class C, but it turns out they weren't actually betraying Class C. They were just pretending to. Wow, what a twist. And then when they reveal it to be this person, they have a stupid fight scene with Horikita, and then she gets beat, and then she's like, oh no, I failed my brother, and then she passes out. Now to talk about some positives, though, I actually do think that Suzune is by far the best character, even though I'm not sure how much of a positive that is, because it kind of just goes to show how lacking in depth all the other characters are. Like, I think Suzune is probably the only character with actual depth. She's sort of doing everything just to prove to her brother that she's worthy, but she starts learning later on that she should be her own person and stop doing everything just to please her family. Now, besides that, I guess some other positives are, you know, it's not like one of the worst anime I've ever seen. I guess it's at least watchable. Like, I've definitely seen much worse anime, and I mean, it at least has somewhat of a cool concept with how the school works and stuff. You know, it's like a competition, and everyone's trying to get to the higher classes. I do think that that is actually a pretty cool twist on the generic school anime where nothing really happens. But besides those, I just think the anime just feels really boring and cliche. Everything is very predictable, and almost all the characters are just super annoying. And almost all of them are just completely one-dimensional. It feels like they're only there just to better serve the plot and the other characters that they want to make look cooler. Like, pretty much almost all of the women in this anime are there just to make the main character look cooler. They don't really feel like their own person. There's also this black guy who looks like he's 30 years old, and I guess we're meant to believe he's a student or something, and he's kind of just there just to, be a bodyguard for the other guy in Class C. He says like one word the entire anime, and he's literally just there to only help this guy. I'm not even sure why he wants to help them. It never really gets explained. He's kind of just there. There was one character that stuck out to me in particular, though, not because he was a good character or anything, but because he was so ridiculously over the top that it was like actually funny. Like randomly, especially during the island arc, he would kind of just be doing his own thing, like swinging around trees like a monkey. There's this one scene where he climbs on the chain at the end of the episode, and it was actually such a hilarious way to end off the episode. There's also a lot of really cringe gossip, and it doesn't even feel like the type of gossip you would actually see in school. It feels like a 40 or a 50-year-old's perception of what kids' gossip is like. Also, the directing is as basic and as boring as it gets. The OST is also very boring, and the animation is also just whatever. Nothing about this anime sticks out except for the concept, and even then, it's not really that bad overall if it wasn't for some other issues I had. If it didn't come across as overly pretentious, and if it didn't have such overbearing fan service, I genuinely don't think I would have disliked this anime as much as I did. Now, I still wouldn't think it was good or anything, but I really wouldn't think it was that bad either. I'd kind of just think it was whatever. The art style in particular does stand out to me, though. All the characters have like these really colorful eyes, and I actually don't mind it. I think it actually blends really well with the rest of the art style in general. And honestly, I think it looks pretty good. I think it's probably the most distinct part of the anime. Overall, though, this anime doesn't really blend its different styles very well at all. The fan service itself isn't an inherent problem, but it's the way it uses it. It just feels very forced on, like there's no natural reason for the fan service to be a part of the anime, like in something like Kill la Kill, for example. It makes sense why there's so much fan service in Kill la Kill, because it's actually a part of the plot. But in this anime, it feels like they kind of just added it on afterward to appeal to a certain audience. Overall, this anime is not good, and I'm kind of tired of talking about it now. Overall, I'm giving this one a decent 3, and I cannot recommend this to anybody. But still, there are a bunch of people that like this anime, so if you were one of those people, let me know in the comments what you like about it. And if you're one of the people that don't like this anime, also let me know in the comments why. I'm also going to be reviewing seasons 2 and 3 as well, whenever season 3 finishes. And I'm also currently working on a free run review as well, so stay tuned for that. I will be releasing that on Friday whenever Free Run's last episode airs, so stay tuned for that as well. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next review, and peace.